I accepted Jesus when I was a very young girl, mostly out of fear. I was presented heaven and hell, and there was an obvious choice to that. But I always looked at God as somebody who gave you a list of rules, and there were more things that you couldn't do than what you could do. As I started to get older, I started to battle a lot of depression, just not having any idea of what I was here for and what the purpose of life was. So on the outside, I looked like I had things together, and I still tried to act like a Christian for the most part. But if there was the opportunity to do something and I felt like it was gonna help me be more well-liked, then I would compromise. And so I got into a lot of bad relationships and started just making a lot of poor choices, and I started to have consequences for those decisions that I was making. And instead of recognizing that the consequences were from my poor choices, I saw them as God punishing me. And so I just decided to do my own thing and tried to fill this emptiness that I felt with whatever the world had to offer. I started to develop a lot of anxiety, and the depression was getting worse, and I always dealt with anger issues, and those were getting worse. And I really just got to the point where I started feeling guilt for my sins and shame. And I remember just coming to a place where I knew that the only option I had anymore was to, reach out to God. I saw Him as a loving God, somebody who was there all along through every trial I went through as, a young girl. And He was always just waiting for me to get to this point, to realize I couldn't make it on my own and I needed Him. And when I got to that point, I felt relieved, and I decided, to recommit my life to Christ. So before I saw God as, somebody who, was just like a judge, seated on a throne, ready to slam the gavel down like when you did something wrong. And I just, through reading His Word, realized, how forgiving He was, how kind He is, how much He loves us. And I just never really felt that way before. And the thing that I love most about Jesus is that He is always making things new. God has done amazing things in my life, and today I am following His model and being obedient to Him and being baptized.